welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim and today we are going to be picking out my September TBR. So I really had no clue what to do for this month. I'm trying to keep it somewhat creative. Not that I've been super creative. Pretty much everything I think I've done, somebody else has done. But I wanted to do something different than the cards because I've already done those twice this year. I almost had the dogs pick again because I haven't done that again and I do want to do that again, but I feel like I need more physical books. Like I need the physical books for them to pick between. I mean, I guess I could just throw my Kindle down to like show like a KU book or something. I don't know. I feel like it looks better if I have both of the physical books, and I just like, I don't know. Not a lot of the books I have physically right now have been like calling to me. I've been reading a lot of KU books. Or like buying new books on my Kindle. So anyways, maybe in the future I'll do that with the dogs. And I also felt like it was too early to do like fall TBR. I mean, you know, September's, especially here in California, it's still so hot. So yeah, no, it just doesn't feel enough like fall to do a fall TBR. I will probably be doing that next month. Anyways, it's just a lot of yapping to say. I try to figure out something to do and I figured it out and I left it over there. Not that you need to see a dice because you know what a dice looks like. I'm gonna roll a dice. I got the dice. Not that you need to see it, but this is the dice. And I have picked like a prompt for each number 1 through 6, and I'm gonna roll it 6 times, see what I get, and then we'll pick books to go with those. So the prompts I picked are for 1, if I roll a 1, I have to pick a book with a 1-word title. If I roll a 2, I have to pick a book with a number in the title. 3 is a book I bought this year, which I have a lot to choose from for that. 4 is a book with a map. 5, a book picked by a friend. And I'm nervous if I get that one because I was talking to a couple friends about this idea and they're the ones I'm going to ask if I get that. And I'm scared what they're gonna do to me. Anyways, and then 6 is a book with a dual POV. So I am going to, I'll show you guys me rolling. I'm gonna roll in this little fake book thing so it doesn't like, you know, over on my desk. So it doesn't, the dice doesn't, you know, fly across the room. We're gonna be smart about this. I'm gonna roll it 6 times. Let's see what I get, and then I will pick out books to go with what I end up with. Okay, so we're gonna do 6. That's about what I've been doing lately, reading, picking for TBRs. Okay, a 2. So that's a book with a number title. Let me write these down so I don't forget it. A 5. Oh, great. A friend picks my book. Cannot wait to find out what they pick. Okay. 3. Oh, we're getting a good variety here. 3 is a book bought this year. Another 2. So another book with numbers. That's 4. So we'll do 2 more. Another, oh no, we haven't had 4. 4 is a book with a map. Okay, so that's fun. So I'll probably be at fantasy. Another 2. Okay, you guys, I'm going to do one more because then that's 3 2s. Okay. All right, last one. A 6. Okay. A dual POV. Okay, so we got only 1 duplicate, so that's not bad. All right, let me go pick out books to go with these, and then I'll show you guys what I picked. Okay, so you just saw me rolling, and you saw that I rolled. I gave myself a couple mess-up rolls, and I rolled 2 2s, a 5, a 3, a 4, and a 6. Let's just start. So, so the 2s are books that have numbers in the titles, which this worked out to my advantage because I have been wanting to read this book for a long time, and the series is out now. It's a 3-book series, and the 3rd book just came out last month or the month before, so it's the perfect time for me to read this, and that's 5 Broken Blades. It's by May Corlin. Okay, so I don't know a whole lot about this one. I just know that it's like about like 5 liars that are like brought together to kill the king, and I think, you know, it's kind of about them like trying to form an alliance, but you know, like they're notorious liars, so it's like, you know, I think it's going to play out as kind of like a who can you trust kind of thing. and I don't really know what they are like getting, or if like one, I don't know. That's all I really know. I mean, it sounds interesting. I've heard it described as kind of like a heist like book, but and like I said, it's 3 books, so who knows what happens. So yeah, so that is one of the titles with a number in the title. We did the one title with numbers. We'll go ahead and talk about the second title I picked with numbers, and that's going to be Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. So I know this is a duet. I've read the Hellbent Ninth House and Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, and I did really like those. It took me a little bit to get into Ninth House, but I really ended up liking it, and I really loved Hellbent, the second book in that. So I'm excited to read another book by them. This is another, I mean, like I said, I'm not positive about Five Broken Blades being like a heist book. That is just something I read. But I do know for a fact that Six Crows is a heist book. I don't really know a whole lot else. I know a lot of people love it for like, I think a found family aspect. Like I said, all I know is from little tidbits I've gotten from like social media and stuff like that. I try to stay away from spoilers, so I haven't had anything spoiled for me. But it has been one I've been interested in reading for a long time, so it kind of just fits right in with this prompt, so I'm excited about that. And who knows, I'll probably end up reading both of the books in that duology, because why not? I have a feeling it's going to be like a month of that, because I feel if I really like Five Broken Blades, I'm going to probably just want to read books 2 and 3 of that this month. If I really like Six of Crows, I'm going to want to read the second book of that. So they're going to probably be filling in like the other gaps in my reading this month for sure. This month's going to be heavy on the fantasy, I think. So, because the next book I picked is also a fantasy, because one of the roles I got was a book with a map. And I know there's some contemporary romances out there with maps, but you always can find a map in a fantasy book. I think it's almost always a given there's a map. And so I picked The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I have been wanting to read this ever since it came out. When I went to the event with her, especially, she made me even more excited about this book. And I'm wanting to read it because I think I've almost had things spoiled for me multiple times now on social media. And if that happens, I'm going to be very upset. So I'm glad I picked it, or I got that prompt for this one this month, so that I can get it read, so nothing can be spoiled for me. This is also going to be a duology once she's done with it. She is the author of the Shepherd King series. Why can't I think of the titles of those books right now? They're right there, but they're backwards. I can't see the titles. Oh my gosh, what are the wait. One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. I have them up there too. I have the paperbacks up there. Which I did really enjoy those books. I had a few issues with those books, but like nothing crazy. I really did enjoy them, especially the second book. And like don't really know a whole lot about this book, and I don't want to know anything, so sorry, I don't have a whole lot of information. The only thing I do have is when I went to the event and she talked about it, she was saying that she said more kind of like maybe the second book is like A Knight's Tale vibes, and A Knight's Tale was my favorite movie growing up. I watched that thing so many times. I had a huge poster of Heath Ledger, the front of the cover of the movie in my room. So like that made me even more excited to read this. So we're gonna read it. We're gonna see. I know people really are liking this book. I'm gonna show you the map to prove that there's a map in here. The map's really pretty. So yeah, book with a map. So that is gonna be, like I said, 3 fantasy books this year. I've read far more than 3 this year. 3 fantasy books this month, which is pretty heavy fantasy for me. You guys know I usually pick more contemporaries over, just also because they're longer fantasy books. And even sometimes if they're not longer, I feel like they still take me longer to read. I don't know. I guess because they're more dense and stuff than like a contemporary romance. Let's talk about the next one. I also rolled a 3, which is a book I bought this year, which was probably the easiest book to pick. And because I've bought so many books this year, but I went ahead and just went with Reverse by Kate Stewart because I read Drive back in April, I think, or May, and I have really been wanting to finish this. Pretty much the only reason I haven't is I am not wanting my heart broken. Kate's writing just does something to me. She's one of the few authors that have has made me cry. So I am scared to read this because if you guys don't know, I've talked about it many times before. I am in love with the Ravenhood series, which is her other series. And some people say they like this one even better than that. And like, that's very hard for me to comprehend because I love that series so much. And I really liked The Drive, the first book in the series. And it did give me that Kate Stewart writing feeling, which is so hard to explain. It's kind of like a achy, I always kind of explain it as like an achy, like uneasy feeling. Like, it's not all like warm and fuzzy. It's really hard. It's not warm and fuzzy. That's how I can explain it. It is like achy and I don't know. That's the best way I can explain it. So I have basically just been scared to read this, but I really want to get this done. I really want to read this and get it done because I want to read Severed Heart, which is her spinoff series from the Ravenhood. Not that you guys need to know all this, but she has another one coming out at the end of the year, and I want to get that one right before that. And that's a really long book. And this one's long. This one's even longer. And I don't want to read this until I read this. So we're taking the advantage of a book I bought this year because I did buy this year. And we are going to read Reverse. I'm not going to talk about this because it's the second book in the series. And talking about it will definitely spoil the first book. But just know it's like a rock star contemporary romance. And it's Kate Stewart, so you're guaranteed to have like angst. Okay, it's not, like I said, not warm and fuzzy. So that is going to be the book for that. Okay, I rolled also a 6, which is Dual POV. Now, I'm going off what Google's telling me for this. This is a book that's been on my TBR for a little while, and I wanted to read it. I want to read it, so I figure I wasn't positive. I was pretty sure it was probably Dual POV, but sometimes I go into some of these contemporary romances thinking that, and then they don't end up being, so I wanted to Google it, and Google says that it's Dual POV, so I hope they're telling me the truth. The book is called The Tragedy of Felix and Jake by Jay Daniels. Like I said, I've had this on my TBR for a little while. It's been recommended by multiple people on Instagram to me. So I don't know a lot about it. I know it has to do with like addiction and mental health and some of those heavier topics, which I don't know. I do like exploring through and reading about in these contemporary romances. So that's all I really know about it, but I'm excited to read it. Like I said, it's been on my TBR for a little while, and if you have watched my last few videos, you know I'm very much like really loving queer romance lately. So this will give me that fix hopefully for the month because it's the only one I have on my TBR. Okay, and the last book is for the book picked by a friend. And the first one that was thrown out to me was The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. This is kind of a running joke with my friends because I have never read a John Green book. They think that that's just, like, it's unheard of to them. They cannot believe I've never read because I didn't know who he was. And they shame me for it, okay? To be fair, I feel like when a lot of these books were popular was when I really wasn't reading, and I definitely, like, maybe I was reading them, but I definitely wasn't reading books like that, okay? That was back when I was reading, like, more, like, fantasies and stuff like that. Yeah, so these just weren't on my radar. I've never seen the movie either, because I'm not a big, like, I don't know, that genre of movies just is not, I'm not big on watching it, especially I haven't been. I'm like more likely to watch something like that now, but in my younger years, I didn't watch that kind of stuff. But then one of my friends just ruined the plot line for me the other day too. So, oh well, I guess. So I'm not going to be surprised by this book, which I don't know what that's going to do to my rating. But like, I know she like ruined a part for me, but I really also don't know a whole lot about this book. I really don't, which I don't know, you guys might find crazy because I know it was a very popular movie and a very popular book. I have like seen clips from the movie and like, you know what I mean? But like, I really don't know. I think it deals with one of them has cancer. I think that's all I know. A lot of my friends said it made them bawl. I'm not a huge crier, so we'll see if it makes me cry. I don't know. But I guess I'll finally read a John Green book and they can get off my back, okay? But yeah, I know, like, again, like I said, I mentioned, I just know that a character of Cancer, I think it's like a coming of age, like, you know, romance also in there. I'm sure you probably all know. I'm probably the only one here that hasn't read it. I don't know. So you guys will get to see what I think about that. But those are the 6 for the whole dice prompt. I will also be reading Project Hail Mary this month because it is my book club's pick for the month. I also don't know a whole lot about that. I just know the movie is coming out soon, and I really wanted to read the book before the movie. I haven't read any Andy Weir before either. I know people rave about The Martian and Project Hail Mary, and I do want to read both. I was thinking about reading both, like reading The Martian, then reading Project Hail Mary. I don't think you necessarily have to, but I was thinking about reading both this month. But I don't know. I have a pretty stacked TBR now, because even though it's only 6 books, some of these books are a little longer, and then, like I said, some of them are part of series, which I'll probably want to read those too. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm definitely going to be reading Project Hail Mary as well. I also read Magnolia Parks last month, and I want to continue that series. It's just so hard. You want to read everything and you can't, you know, you have to pick and choose. It's very hard. But I'm excited about this TBR. Hopefully I can get through all of these. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this way of picking. It felt like it was a little chaotic. I don't know, maybe it wasn't, maybe that's just in my head. But let me know what you plan on reading in September. Let me know if you're excited about me reading any of these. If you have any thoughts, just let me know anything and everything down in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, I would love it if you liked and subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video.